Hello everyone! Welcome back to another stream of this game, Great Ace Attorney number 2, and we're cross-examining Shamspear right now. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be great, we're gonna learn a lot of clues, and then finally we're gonna learn something. Something, like, very, very important. Or I can just do this.
Objection!
But yeah, hopefully everyone's doing good. No, I definitely did not look up what the answer was while I was looking up how much more time there is to this case. It's insane. It's an insane thing to say. It's wrong, and you're wrong. Anyway, you claim that Mr. Natsumi didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Chop logic? What is this, ye darkly clad fiend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them, one that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside of the cups, just here. There's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Give me a second. Okay, we're good. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsumi's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right, it's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsumi told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot. Eminem, objection! How you doing today? It's good to see you here. Ready for more Ace Attorneys? Yeah, that's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsumi was true to his usual self that night, and drank his tea in no time. Huh? If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after several hours of the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to the nunnery! But yeah, what have you been up to today? Gulp. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. Are you goodo? You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. Hey, Captain Chips, blind to the court and the most common thing in these games? Yep, definitely. That's everyone's thing. How you doing, Captain Chips? Benzik's an alcoholic confirmed. And, the ancestor to Godot. For all we know. I'm as yesterday, how are you? So you just gamed? I'm surviving. Doing good. Getting through Star Wars game, as you saw. To William Shamspear. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accuser's cup. Could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Eh? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left in the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician, for verily 'tis as though thee has seen with thine own eyes that night. Brushed the wings out of his face, he's got a reasonable approximation of Godot's hair. Crazy how that is. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty, and thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things to note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that the spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that had bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, the testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, off goes the cape. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean, then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night, not did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf that wouldst be called salad. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows ne'er forgets the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the wife there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves the dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path. That's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No! You can't yet. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty!
Darn you, jury members. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. The trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime which he is charged. Here we go again. Yay. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gases. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. Is that guy okay? If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply have influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think We need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. Hey, Stars is first! How was your stream earlier, Stars? I was lurking for a bit while working on things. How was, the Link to the Twilight Princess to the Skyward... whatever that game was. Echoes of game. Stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsumi will be found guilty. No delays, Counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Captain Chips, if you don't mind, can you bring the guide up just in case I get stuck doing the Echoes of Wisdom and we got the first boss. Hey! Well done. I'm a man of logic, me, and I've considered all the evidence the defendant must logically be guilty.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at the Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Which means we need to show the man with some new evidence to make him change his mind. Only we have that kind of evidence. Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, madam? It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkept mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea, stealing gas, utterly unforgivable. No, Mr. Natsumi isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Mr. Natsumi hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. Just eat more beans, you'll have more gas. Gotta eat more damn beans. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases.
Hold it!
Can we please not talk about the poison rather than the gas? Or talk about the poison than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take the poison over gas every time. You'd take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ah! You're right. I hadn't considered that at all. Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you at our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Gas doesn't come free. It costs a fortune to deliver it to around the city and maintain the pipes.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even in the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes, but these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft! When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have been up to their tricks. What?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see? Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. You got the guide up, but you're doing pretty well. I'm only reading for now. But, you never know. Could be trickiness up ahead. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain, if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate when lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right. The lights didn't just flicker. They went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. The gas company must have been interrupted briefly because a man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas started flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord, although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Don't worry about it. Blow too hard into the gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Did anything say anything else? That doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune delivered around the city to maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife stirs up for me, it's a little sketchy at times.
Hold it!
You mean it's poison? That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this when I don't get any wages. I get in tea time, see? Then I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please. Is that guy okay? Like I said, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your leaning? Sorry? What's that now? Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on that night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose. Then trouble is, he has selective hearing. Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way Mr. Shamspear was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsumi's tea. Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen. Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten. Yeah, probably. Like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. Let me to remind you exactly what I mean. Like, be more than happy to, of course. Once again, Sosuke-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I really owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. Perhaps I ought to let Susato-san remind me, then again... No need. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course, I'm sure you're right, but if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm gonna guess this guy. Maybe the dude is drinking gas for some reason. So pit you and you?
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Huh? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsumi's tea did a number of speaking, past the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I'm dead on. Yeah, good. I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard has enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man? What is a man? What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspear? What speaketh thou, prithee? Is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I'd be quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strike could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord! Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friends' conjecture. Which cup is that? To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room has high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamsphere put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamsphere has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. Like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence, then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamsphere stood in front of the gas lamp. I would need to see everything again, because I forgot what evidence I had. Receipt, map, envelope, tea, soap, crime scene photo maybe? Medical report? Gas meter, handprints, oh, handprints maybe.
Take that!
What the? These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin prints? Counsel? I've never heard of such a thing. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamsphere touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamsphere also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here, around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Hi, Hedgewoff! How you doing? How was your stream this morning? How was Ever Rhythm Game? I hope it was good. I was lurking for that one too. Could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, I'm doing good. I'm ready for more Ace Attorneys. Imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamsphere has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall, in front of that lamp. Right, what have you been up to, you nut? I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. Now if you recall juror number 3's statement. What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas started to leak into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... if Mr. Shamsphere were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building as well. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
Hey, you can't interrupt. Also, I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks? The curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin print. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by the great detective. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Ugh! Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... Please, my lord, if I may. Mr. Sato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wished to present the result of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool by which to explain the possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3? Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Well, that's 2. Not good enough. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait. You heard his late lordship. It's not fair to... One more. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it! Very well. Continue, counsel. Well, now what? I'm very interested in the results of the great detective's investigation. We're the ones deciding the jury. Gas doesn't come for free. Truth be told. I might need some help on this one, Captain Chips. I'm not seeing an answer here. Do me a favor, for this one, tell me one jury member that needs to be convinced or pitted against the other. Yeah, I got nothing here. I have absolutely 100% nothing here. Press juror 4, or press juror 1. Hey, Astro Dude. Said I have to press juror number 1.
Hold it!
How you doing today, though, Astro Dude? It's good to see ya. All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What? You so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspear had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow had been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, doesn't mean he's got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. You can't make your case better than that? I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait. Look, you've got your chances here, haven't you? Or your chance here, so it's time to prove your theory. You and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid that jurors that changed their minds before may well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? Oh no. Each one of these could lead to like a long winding thing. Yeah, which one's the right answer, guys? I have no idea. Supporting testimony. From who? No idea. Evidence. What is it? I have no idea. And I can't prove it would probably be a bad idea. Testimony? Thank you. Whose? I have no idea. No, in truth, I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony could reveal details about the gas in the Geradev residence that night, namely... Save the game again. Gotta take a swing at it. If it's not this person, guys, then I have no idea who it is. It's Iris! She told us all about the gas! No, it's this guy.
Take that!
Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince you? This guy talked about gas, though. Nope, I took a swing and I missed. What's the answer? That's the only person that talked about, like, lights flickering and gas. Soseki? Which one's that? Oh, this guy, Natsumi.
Take that!
Geradev talked about it outside court? Yeah, outside court. He had testimony outside court when he talked about it. I thought we would bring him in and he'd testify, like, more about what he said outside. You know? That's what I was going with that logic there. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsumi himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsumi said the following. That's not testimony, though. It's words. Isn't words like testimony? Alright, this involves me even knowing what testimony means in this game, and that's not gonna happen, so... My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! Unless he gave a signed statement? I don't get it. But sure, I guess. So... everything out of court is just BS then, is what the game is saying. That's great. That's cool. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly! So that Shamspeare fellow blew the air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Basically, testimony has to be in the courtroom. Yeah, but what I was saying is we could use this thing that he said out of court, then he can say it again in court, and that would be his testimony. Right? Would that work? Would that count? Now hold your horses there. Why would he do that? Or what would he do that? Heresy. Yeah, the legal term is heresy. Yeah, that was this. Now we're getting into words I've never heard of before. Oh man, I am stupid. Mr. Foreman, what is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. But the idea was that there was already testimony made in the court rather than bringing in a new witness for new testimony. Idea was there was already testimony made by the court. I don't know what that means or what that sentence, like, what does that have to do with this? Sorry, this is getting too complicated for me. Subject dropped, let's keep going. Arg! Or ag. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Ayo! That's 4 jurors leaning toward not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination is concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 can now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare? My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who? Me? Who, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. Arg! As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe to feeding the lamps in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. There are traces of poison there.
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of the tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have been completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Ah! I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe where he lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order, order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of... Alright. I did not expect this to be going in this direction. Murder. I'm gonna take a guess, guys. Shamspeare wanted to kill... this person. Good lord, an unexpected answer indeed. That's right, my lord. The nature of cases like these that they are full of wild twists and turns.
Objection!
Yep, he wanted to kill himself. No, I'm just messing. Only attempted murder. I'm gonna guess the other person in the room.
Take that!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around these parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsumi isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim and this man was trying to murder. Good gracious!
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged, namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How could you still claim that? Let's indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. Can't kill him, lock him up. Yep. If the assailant was unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs? Me to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question cannot be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, a person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsumi. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused Mr. Natsumi. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Arg! Well, this is probably bad. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. Well, this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsumi of guilt. You mean, name the true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsumi's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate Greek detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Oh, man. I have like 2 guesses, I guess. One of them being this guy. He works for the gas, and he's the only one that was kind of worked for the person. Has access to poison. Who do we know has access to poison? Maybe this guy does.
Take that!
I don't know. I'm gonna say not this guy. I'm gonna say the other person would be this guy, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. So maybe the love?
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Council, but I don't recall where. Sweet, you'll be right back. I need to feed cats. Alrighty. Gotcha. Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago? Well, do not see the case going this way, and that she would be the one. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road, an incident for which Mr. Natsumi was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need remind of the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital, unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday. We found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare. My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friends' farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent, I hope. The defense has made the most extraordinary accusation, I must say, but at the present time I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of the court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Alright. We're surviving, everyone. We're getting through it. We're surviving somehow. Okay. Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks. Oh, Mr. Natsumi. I'm so pleased for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikotoba, Esquiress. Now finally, at long last there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Arg, Herlock Sholmes. May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. I thought the tea was innocent. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came! How wonderful! Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. A sleep deduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Oh, yes. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink at all night, and the results? By first light, I was exhausted, and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose I proved by experimentation, that, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? Ah! Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to? It was a laborious task as the bottle was near empty, but such inconvenience do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it had contained strength. So I was right. Perhaps through of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now by licking the inside of the neck, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Alright, here it is. Can I have a word? This guy. Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. I, don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room? Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No. You're about something else. That dead convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from the newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room? A man by the name of, yes, Selden. I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? I've copied out the relevant parts for you so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you. Oh boy. These documents. Let's see what they say real quick. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes while in prison. His final moments witnessed only by a cellmate. 1,000 pounds worth of loot still remains unrecovered. Manchester's Strangeways prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He has been suffering with fever since the end of October, alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate. Medical staff arrived to find him already dead before the capital punishment could be carried out. Don't see anything out of the ordinary, but maybe there's something I'm missing. Should we examine the bottle too, just in case? So this is the bottle we've been hearing so much about. Stride. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here. Look, mustn't be tempted to try it. Of course, as long as we don't lose this trial. No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo. Make your mind up, Susato-san. Include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? Just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. A shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. No, not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears personally, so the best of luck to you. Welcome to Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Yes, Mr. Natsumi? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. The final battle, guys, and then I beat the game! No, not really. We have 3 more cases after this. I'm okay with that. Won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to! You have to do it. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense, namely that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zieks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the witness in. There she is. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shamspeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit that she has no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a coterie. Mr. Shamspeare. My lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. You're here. Stars is the witness. Hey, Stars. We need your name and occupation. Stars, occupation, streamer. Epic. I would for naught else, my lord. And Miss Green? Yes? You are aware of the reason that you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume? Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And, do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady. Die to live. State your names and occupation for the court at the same time. Thank you. Yep. Hehe. Verily, I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage. Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange indeed. Or why would you suspect me? I barely even go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night of this man's was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garadev household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. We do that at the Ren Fair if there's more than one person bringing a case or brought up. That's funny. That's pretty awesome. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about the random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful incident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare. But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road that evening of the 17th of February. Here we go. It was 6 days ago at around about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case had their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoken my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business. Alright. Yes, a second incident inside a week of what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is the most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare. 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine! When Soseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, as suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it, and this is my one and only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish. Yes, my lord. Let's get to pressing everything. It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. when I walked along the snow when I suddenly stabbed in the back. I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long, and I woke up to find the case had been solved and the culprit, arrested. Press it like it's a big panel of red buttons. This is the red button challenge. The right button lets you leave the room. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your weakening, as should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose so. Thank you. But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day for us to arrive at the truth about this new case. The trouble is, there's nothing to tell really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the man in the case had their lodgings. What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attend. What's it called? Ah, yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. Would she be allowed to do this in court, by the way? Just paint? According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground. I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road, is that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Nope. Green. You're painting with pink, and you're not supposed to be painting. Well, it's because, oh yes, of course, I thought it might make a nice picture. The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas. That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of the part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term. The point is she's definitely hiding something. Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? 'Twould be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I have bespoken my supper.
Hold it!
A tavern, you say? Which one? 'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. An establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water, and different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected Grub's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on the day of all days he dined in a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago was slightly suspicious. Wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. Alright. Save the game. Do I have evidence, guys? I do not know. So do we have evidence, anyone? It's not really a clue kind of thing. It's just I do or I don't. So do I have evidence? Anyone in chat? Anyone in chat? You know what stinks? I forgot to put up my guide today. Should? Does that mean present evidence or don't? Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, sire. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. Very well, I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely, I have no freaking idea. I lost the plot completely, guys. Is it the first page or the second page, guys? First question, is it the first page or the second page? So this or this? I don't think this one's obvious. It's the first page. Which side is it on? The left side or the right side? Because I don't know if it would be any of these, but maybe it would for some reason. The left? It is the left? What the heck? Why? What is it on the left? I lost the plot with Shamspeare. Yep, me too. Is it the first two on the left or the first right on the left? It's the torn envelope. Yeah, before like you say what it is exactly, I'll just keep asking questions and stuff to narrow it down. It's still good if I ask questions though, even if you think I'm not gonna get it. It's still for the best if I keep asking questions though.
Take that!
But why? Oh, good Horatio. There are more things in heaven and earth than there are dreamt of your philosophy. Horatio? I believe it's a line from Shakespeare's play Hamlet, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not Captain Chips. It's not. It's not. Do I have to examine the envelope first? Is that what's going on? Alright, Captain Chips, back to the guide. What's the real one? Might have skipped a step. Did you press statement 4? Nope. Nope, I did not. Whatever guide you're using, Captain Chips, it's bad.
Take that!
So we're gonna have damage for this case. Make sure to read every single bit of this guide, please. Every single syllable. Neo-Seeker, it's called. Neo-Seeker. Great Ace Attorney Neo-Seeker. It explains what to do in much detail. I always press everything first and save it to the next slot. It gave me a choice though. I wasn't sure. It gave me a do I have evidence or not kind of thing. It was the first time I'd been in the place or whatever. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. Ah! It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, "I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross." What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. Oh. Yeah, your guy, Captain Chips, missed everything. Every single thing. There's this I gotta do too.
Excuse me.
Mr. Shamspear, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be? That is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's word springeth from within me, ne'er a thought. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? No, it had that, but you skipped ahead without pressing all the statements. Yeah, but you should have said something when I said if I had evidence or not. The answer was no, I did not have evidence. Something of relevance, perhaps. Well, nay, sire. 'Twas nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. Pardon me for assuring you did the things you should have done. Never assure things with me. Never, ever, ever. Always start at the beginning with me. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would it were so, but sadly nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me. So, you haven't heard of them, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Miss Green. Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? The card that was mentioned before contained the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Yeah, look, the letter, see? Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Of course, that is what links Mr. Shamspear and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green. There we go. Now with that testimony, it's easy. Was it this one that I had to press first? I think it was this one that had the evidence thingy. Whoops!
Hold it!
Gotta do the presenting of the envelope thingy. Yes.
Take that!
Okay, that's great. What is it, guys? I'm at my wit's end right now. I'm tempted to just have the guide up for me completely. Brain is not working. Too much information's going on here. Do me a favor, Captain Chips. Pull up the Neo Seeker guide and find the guy who wrote your guide and fire him. Just flat out fire him.
Take that!
I'm guessing it's this. What the actual F? Okay, what do we do, guys? What are we doing now? What's the plan now? What's going on here? What's going on? Your guide was perfectly adequate. It's not the new thing or the other thing. Fire him from a cannon? Yes. Examine the card. See, your guide didn't mention that. The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? The screen strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah, what is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else. Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. You just skip steps? Well, tell me what the steps are next time. Remember, tell me everything. The torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card. I need all info. All infos. Make sure I don't skip steps. Okay, so now I can do this, right? I'm going to give you to backseat you through this, or do you want me to give hint? Hint. Press right. Yes, now I have evidence, hopefully.
Take that!
Oh, thank God, finally. I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspear, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear? Well... Excuse me, can I say something? Yes, Miss Green. That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? Well, well, if you think so, yes, but it's hardly hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I like to make something very clear about that card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about this particular note. This note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with the odd man next to me there. Here. I think you said that you received it on the day before the incident, didn't you? Yes, that's right. There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on the envelope. It was in my letterbox, and that's all I know, I'm afraid. I've no idea who sent it. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is this Duncan Ross, please? A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. Wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest, but in the end, I decided to go. So you found out what the information was? Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight. Yeah, I never think straight. How you doing, Blue Thunder? What's up? How you doing? Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back, as my learned friend hopefully remembers. Yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you're pursuing Mr. Shamspear wonderfully there. It worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now I need to pull out the really insightful objection somewhere. Well, as you've managed to expose the promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that. Yes, of course. And yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. I'm surviving, Blue Thunder. I'm doing the best I can to survive. Okay. Question, guys, while I'm skipping text, is do I need to present something on the final thing here? Do I need to present evidence here on this statement here? Yes, okay.
Hold it!
Okay, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that at all. I'm gonna make an educated guess here. Do I need to present either this or this again? Miss Green's card or this thing? Stars is waving too. Stars is waving to you, Stars. One of those, yes. I'm gonna assume the bigger one.
Objection!
Okay, good. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address, and upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn-off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. What? Where did you find that? In Mr. Shamspeare's room. In my room? Either would have worked. Good. Mr. Shamsphere, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on the Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamsphere. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green? What did I do? As this torn-off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room, so how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it. You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? Thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me? It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Urgh. Miss Green. Yes? Whilst you have been the court's sympathy, I'm sure for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Yes, I know. Very well then, witnesses, you will give formal testimony again now, on the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. Alright, here we go. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, per adventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn-off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I'd returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was... A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. The note was delivered to me at my address, besides. We all know who the liar around here is. That's true, Miss Green. How do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamspeare's... I don't see why I should explain. Sorry. I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel? I'm ready, my lord. Very well then, the defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witness. Miss Screen clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room, there can be no question of that. That's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. It's not a pretty one. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago.
Hold it!
And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with the knowledge of literature as mine is great as mine own, verily it's impenetrable. But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I'd be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquaint. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature? Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself at the tavern, yet in the end my curiosity was not satiated. On the day writ therein I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did so suddenly recall. Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine inert to a premium crust of bread. All around me danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sir, flies. Good lord! In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from the Midsummer Night's Dream, come to taunt me? I think they were just flies. I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? Nah. Therefore, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished.
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room. Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval. Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. And yet, during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly, then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, yes. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. Ah. I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh, dearie me. What's Lord Van Zeek's getting at? I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspeare about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Shamspeare's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspeare's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though? Yes, you should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo. We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. I can point out the villain here, and it's for that, and it's...
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie, the fledgling doth readily cast aspirations about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy, thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days, oh, the years, alas, to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Yes. It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamspeare's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter. Yes, 2 or more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion. Terrifying? Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Alright. Again, no idea. My question is, which one do I present evidence to? Which statement? Because I have no idea. 4, you say? Is the evidence on the first page or the second page? Second? Is it one of the first 3 or the second 3? Second? So it's this, or this. Maybe this?
Objection!
Okay, it's the bottle. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. Ah! The murder weapon, as it were? As it was. Where was this found again? Was it found at the crime, or what? I forgot where this even was at the time. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set... In her hospital room. Oh, great. The liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as... That poison. What? That poison? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare? Ah! Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison. Can this be? You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie me! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely. Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Lord Van Zeeks. And of course, the following morning there were more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address. More activity? Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsumi, being arrested on suspicion of murder. That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsumi's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. But once Mr. Natsumi had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe, his intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsumi's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Natsumi returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan. What plan? The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green? Yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Order, order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness? Is she gonna transform? Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this? You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack of the victim's life? I probably already know, but I'm gonna save it again. It's, herself, right? She's the reason. No, it's this guy. Duncan Ross. That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsumi, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garadeb's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse, or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Ugh. Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Marry? Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamspear, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? She's so tiny. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? Yes, my lord, that's correct.
Objection!
In inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken to it in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shamspear have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green. I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel. But you broke into the man's room. You didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe. What was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? You're right, I suspected him, so I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh vilest, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh roaditude of woman. But in any case, whereas I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door, with some terps and a piece of wire. Oh awfulness, oh artfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman. We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Eh? Yes, we all discovered that hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, a box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. This rather nice key. Ah! What are you doing with that? What the? Every ounce of color has drained from his face. Give it here. Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it. What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? You inherited that key? It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute. Give it to me! Calm yourself, witness. So Mr. Shamspear has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspear at first, but considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? Smack. We need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard, because I'm sure I just caught a glimpse of that link that runs through all of these events. In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspear's alleged crimes? Something with the lock, maybe? This thing has a lock. Do you think it's this?
Take that!
This is it. This is what exactly, Counsel? This is that thing which... Wait, what? Alright, guys, I'll ask the good old questions once again. Is the right evidence on the first page or the second page? Is it here somewhere? Or here somewhere? Oh man, if I could remember things. Oh, me enjoying these games would be so much better. I'm not seeing a key here, unless... Is that a key back there? It's on this page, though.
Take that!
Nope. Okay. What's this? Handprints. I don't see a lock. Well, I see that lock, but it wouldn't be this. Good night, Minim. See you tomorrow. No idea.
Take that!
Well, it's one of the last three, apparently. There's not really a good clue that could tell me what it is. So
Take that!
we'll just keep on pressing. We'll just keep on presenting until we find the right answer. Have a good time. Thank you.
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? A police report that doesn't have a lock and key or a lock on it? Why is it this? The Selden file? How did you get a hold of that? The Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsumi have only one thing linking them, the fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden, until that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum £1,000 worth of loot that he had stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here. £1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. Well, the thing never said it was in a chest or it needed a key or something, so I wouldn't know. Ah, you mean this key is... Mr. Shamspear, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you, a false charge. The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. Ugh. But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamspear's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garadev's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's own room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamspear subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsumi, the defendant of this case no less? So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspear? This time to oust Mr. Natsumi. All for one simple and avaricious reason: to get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Ugh, you. Ugh. Ugh. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Oh, before they stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. This is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in L, I guess. Shakespeare. Mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Oh boy. Mr. Shakespeare? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me, for the time being anyway. Surely, you can arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close, I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No! He's already committed the most heinous crime to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we might have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord? Yes, counsel? The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Very well then, counsel. Let us the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased's convict's hall? Oh man. I'm just so lost on this case, guys. What could we possibly even do? Soap for some reason? Yeah, is it on the first page or second page? I wanna know the first thing. Hand thing maybe? What hand thing? There's a lot of hand things in this game. Second page, you say? Is it inside the gas meter for some reason? The handprints? Oh, the handprints. Handprints on the wall. Do we have the thing that does the handprints? Let me save the game. We don't have a thing that, like, does the handprints. We have the picture. Oh, the picture is it? But we don't have the actual print stuff.
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigations of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of a joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long, and I see your complexion has worsened since we last met. Mr. Sholmes! He does know Lord Van Zieks, then. Well, enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in the case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. Ah! You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you have been holding, elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. This sample to help locate Sheldon's loot that is hidden in the old room. What form will the sample take? Is it evidence or person? Sholmes has suggested a most interesting competition. Oh, he did. You have a guess? Person. It's a person? What the heck? I am completely lost that now. I thought it was gonna be like the soap or something. We will need something of Sheldon's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot, and something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up and up. Key? So, which particular person do you have in mind? And when can we obtain a possession of the late convict Sheldon to create the indicator solution? Okay, first page or second page? Like, I am beyond lost right now. First, on the left side or the right side? Left. It would have to be her then. If it's not her, then yeah. Plot's gone.
Take that!
Plot's gone. Miss Green. Okay, good. Ah, me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belongs to Sheldon. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the example we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Sheldon touched in the room that he used to rent. Ag! Mr. Shamspeare, as one great to another, I assure you, the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings. I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. Ugh. So, Mr. Shamspeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Sheldon's soul and wealth. Ugh, ugh, ugh. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No, give it the key to me. The detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspeare. No, no. You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa. Oh, shameful spear, despair. Be thy name. Very cool. I love the breakouts. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. So you'd have the time to find the convict's haul in the Hall of Stolen Goods? Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Mr. Garrideb really has a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, the action would lead you into a deadly trap. William Shakespeare? How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think I was just a terrible accident. It was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seemed to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we'd graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he'd left that horrible room instead. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day. When I was there, he walked up the road to Grubb's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. This place is cursed, I tell you. Cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove had gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they were thinking. Well, how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Ah, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So we brought this bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. Black market? I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another, was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with and wait. If Mr. Shamspeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. I found out the name of the man that I suspected, William Shamspeare, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else that this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away, so I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd brought all around the mouth of the pipe, all the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and the culprit would get his just desserts. Crazy. 3 days ago, when you were first stood in this dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green? Yes, my lord. You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare. Yes, I know. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present. Mr. Naruhodo? Ah, yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friend stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poisoned bottle. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Oh, and I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamspeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green. Mr. Soseki Natsume? Yes, my lord. The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty! Woo! 2 of them still say guilty. Court is adjourned. So where would Miss Green and Mr. Shamspear go on the kill this man list? Miss Green, I would say not at all. Shamspear, on the other hand, yeah, he's definitely on there. Let's just say that. Shamspear's maybe halfway up. Yeah. The jury's probably as... what's that emote? As emote as us. Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No, this nothing to do with my mustache. Confused? Oh, confused emote. Gotcha. Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Once again, you've saved me from doom. I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsumi. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost many days. I was first acquitted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did, and I've seen more life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human, there are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you are right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What? Just when we'd become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsumi? How wonderful. Oh, well, no. I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. Why not? What, when that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache? Suppose you're right, yes. It will in a way be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ah, that's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes, faced with such terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. Did he say objection there? And that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar, and barely any time later Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. on the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day, the day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in the former lodgings. What's the loot? Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Grex has been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth. So, it transpires the man's fashion is in a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul. I'm very afraid. What is that? Oh boy. It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar. A collar? It's huge though. Looks like look at the gemstones set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains. You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Dog collar? There's a dog collar. Then of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. What does it signify, do you think? Oh, I haven't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color that drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, aren't you? It could be valuable evidence after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off of that, you lot, and hand it over, now! I'd never seen a collar that large before, and all those jewels certainly looked to be extremely valuable, but that's not what stood out the most to me, at least not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains, could they really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use at the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case would be perfect. It's been so fascinating. Talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustache man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a 2-part story. Hey Xavier, what's up? Star something has been following for user not found. Whoops. How you doing today, Xavier? It's good to see you here. What's up? Oh, I can't wait. A word please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Early? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. Followage. 7 years, 1 month for Captain Chips. Wow! What? It's a great case! Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yeah, sorry, there's a thing. Just do wait, you're doing the followage to a different account, I think. Yes.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story.
1 year, 8 months. That's a long time, Stars. You've been tired lately with finals. What about me? I'm doing good. I'm enjoying my Ace Attorneys. I wish you luck on your I wish you luck on your finals.
It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Ooh. Alright. Exhibitions, guys. Exhibitions. Nightbot hates you. Hey, it happens. Nightbot's just slow. Awarded! Yay! Moving on to case 3, everyone. The Great Departed Soul, or the Return of the Great Departed Soul. Let's do it! It'll be fine, right?
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Oh boy. 5 years, 9 months, almost 6 years.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Who's the murderer, guys? Is it the guy on the left? Or the guy talking now? Totally the guy on the left.
Will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Is this guy Willy Wonka? Oh, this guy's dead. That's what's gonna happen.
In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
I wouldn't trust him with that. This is a dumb idea. This is like a really dumb idea. It's your own dang fault, mister. It's October! It's almost Halloween, guys! Happy Halloween! Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper. It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. Like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh no. Not again. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Wah! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce at the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning, with all its unruly spikes. Clearly it can be deduced therefore that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Ha 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 ha. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court, so I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Wonder what he's been doing for the last 6 months. Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the Great Exhibition is open. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't, not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. Suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Turns out I've lost my violin again. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room and the notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You may become something of a manservant around here. Tartan the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider, specifically Lord Strongheart, at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice, not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here. Alright. Great Exhibition. The whole of London has been swept up by this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course, they fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? Makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will be just common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something that went wrong on the Alban experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. It was a huge explosion. Still, wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page on this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Alright, should we take a look, guys? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the backside page of the paper? No, not that. This. Backside. So many glowing reports about the great exhibition and everything that's going on here. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zieks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Well, not to mention the lost cat. Every article on the front page is news about the great exhibition. Public experiments is to demonstrate what brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibitions from around the globe. But also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. Okay. The Reaper attacked. But first, your gloomy mood? Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strange, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more the mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood is. Ah! Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way in and make my way at once to the crime scene. Ah, that was a deep sigh. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barak Van Zieks. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever is on the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. Poor Zieks, I know. What happened to him? London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial, falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seem to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down, although it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Instant coat. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Huh, you really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. What? Alright then, Runo, let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got change to go to the great exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course, and after the Supreme Court, and we'll go to see the great exhibition. Sounds good. Alright. Nope, not there. Here. Back in this room again, guys. Should we just call this place Big Ben? With all the big clocks? Or whatever is the big clock tower in Britain. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place, Big Ben Central. We'll just say that's what this is. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Iris, stop being cute. It's annoying. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you'd been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was giving the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart, I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see, since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while, my apologies. Oh no, not at all. I'd like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in his grand office to understand his preeminent status. If it would be cool if he was like the last prosecutor in the last case. I don't know if he is a prosecutor, but would be cool if he was. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, polishing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. A world must embrace it. He's head of something law-related, so showing up in court isn't impossible. Yeah, for sure. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Ah, well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. Want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take deep breaths and come out with it. I bet this guy will be appearing in Case 5 in some way. Or Case 4, or even this case, for all we know. Anyway, give me permission. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in a court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of the foreign justice system. I desperately want to have another go. Please permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident on that worst case ever hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeyed your revision's instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Yay! Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Runo. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback, a curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. A curious affair. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? He was dragged into this without any explanation. Oh yeah, he was, Hedge. That's silly. Oh no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think? Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experiment stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odi Asman. Do you mean a Mr. O.D.O.? An investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion? A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. Harebrain? Is that how you say that? Because he's a harebrain? He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. Odie Esman. What's it mean? Odie Esman? Odie Esman? No, I don't get this one. You might need to spell it out. Odious man? Oh. Yeah. Didn't see it, but now I can see it. An odious man on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him in the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still, we should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think? Definitely. Odious, extremely unpleasant, repulsive. That's so on the nose. Oh boy. Well, yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zieks? How? By the way, all sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigations need to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly. Ag! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible, which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly, the future of policing. Ag! Like how he summons birds every time he does that pose. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly, it's extremely alarming. Ag! Little girl, will you stop freaking out every time I do that? Hey, it's Ghosty. Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Welcome to the Ace Attorneys. How's life treating ya? It's good to see a new face here. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures, and I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. It all began 15 years ago. I was... Well... Alright. Might as well just go to sleep now. Bedtime, guys. Good night. Doing pretty good. You just finished the Great Ace Attorney. Ooh, nice. I'm on case 3 now. I'm on case 3. I just started, and we'll see how it goes. I hope you'll enjoy your time here. Left to help if I get stuck, if you want to, of course. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. It's in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensics investigation division within Scotland Yard. Nobody cares about your feelings, Strongheart. Yeah, maybe Iris does a little bit, but me? Naruto? Nah. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Never mind, she's been reading. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Well, guess we're out of here. To the prison! Iris is your spirit animal. She is some kind of a creature, isn't she? Especially with her new form that she took. She evolved, she transformed. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look! What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain? What will his voice be? Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Ah, wasn't something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here, about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration. That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave, all at high velocity. Now is probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Alright, well, here we go. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Arrgh. Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asmund was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asmund in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asmund was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is an immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. But... Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know? He said that the situation would change completely depending on whether he was treated as an accident or a murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would have been kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But if this case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pore over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. A precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that the whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. Okay. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, it was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. Maybe into a TV. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's some unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theater, say. The possibilities are endless, and the whole of our vast planet would be within reach. I am looking at the time though, guys. It's been 3 hours nearly, and so I must end the stream here. So thank you all for stopping by. I hope you guys had a good time. We're on case 3 now, and tomorrow's game will at long last be Lunar. I hope it's good, Captain Chips. It better be. Bye, Blue Thunder. Take care, Hedgewolf. It's Ghosty. I hope you had a good time here. Hope you'll consider stopping by again at some point. I'm live every single day, just to let you know. The Winds Nocturne alone is worth it. Awesome. Yeah, chances are I'll like it. It's been a while since I played a JRPG, actually. Since Suikoden 2. But yep, take care, guys. I love you all. You're the best peoples ever. And I'll see all of you on the tomorrows. Bye-bye!